I created my own little version of Canva that helps me save a few minutes every week. And I did that by using AI with one single prompt. I'm sharing with you this recipe and you can use it to create your own custom app. So this is what the app looks like. I can choose a gradient background, dark or light. I can add one big H1 heading and a sub-heading H2 heading. You get this instant preview and you can switch the gradient again. If you click the Create button, it triggers a download. The downloaded file has the name of the heading in its file name. So, and I'm using this kind of images a lot on my LinkedIn profile. So having a square images with a short statement on it. And I have done this in Figma, and I wanted to test out if it's possible to do that also with AI and create my own custom version of it. And as you can see here, I published it on Netlify, but more about that in a minute. So this is how I got everything going. I'm making it here a little bit bigger. So what I did is I just said, create my own social media app. I defined the functionality, the input fields I want on this, the fonts it should use, a create button, what the button should do, and the output. The output should be a square image, and it should use this gradient and the second gradient in an options dialog, and so on and so on. So it's basically the image you just saw, it gets created. And at the end of this very long prompt, I said, before implementing, ask any questions that might be unclear in this prompt. Now, I give you a quick scroll through of the Claude AI conversation. And the first reply was basically, thanks for providing such a detail, blah, blah, blah. But I have a few questions. It was about the graphics, the text input, if they should have a character limit. Good question. I haven't thought about that. Should the headings have specific colors, and so on. So all good questions that Claude wanted to know answers to. And I answered all these questions in my follow-up prompt. And then I got the very first version of the app. So you get this code and I could download it, but as you can see, it wasn't able to run here. And the very first version Claude suggested required me to install something, Tailwind, CSS or something. So I'm a no-code person, I'm a marketer and content creator. I have heard about Tailwind and I maybe could go down that road, but that's not what I want to do. So my follow-up prompt, I said, create the app with only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I don't want to install anything. So the next version turns out to be already usable. As you can see here in the preview of this artifact in Claude, I can also switch to the code preview, or I can download or publish it. And I discovered a bug. So when I download the gradient, it's not added in the downloaded file, but the preview already worked. So basically what now happens here is I start debugging the app. So there's some back and forth. I also paste in an error I get. Then it creates a new version, but again, there's some bug added. And then what I do is I work on the padding and margin. So the app is now working, but after 4 prompts. But the problem I'm facing is that the padding and margin in the output file is not working. So it's working in the preview, but not in the output. So I'm pasting the screenshot of the input and the output and ask Claude AI to take a look at the screenshot to fix this bug. And as you can see, it takes a few prompts until it's working. And yeah, down here, you can see it took, I think, 12 versions. So basically it was 12 prompts back and forth. Within 20 minutes, I got the result I wanted. So, and as you can see here, I did some debugging. So I uploaded multiple times a screenshot and asked Claude to take a screenshot and fix the app. Yeah, and as you already saw, so this is now the app that saves me a few minutes every week. I used Netlify drop, Netlify/drop. So you can basically drag and drop an HTML file here, and it immediately creates a subdomain on netlify.com where you can use your app. So I've published it here, and you could also give this subdomain a name that fits to your needs, or you can point it to your own domain. So basically, this is a social media app that only the team at Fresh von Root can use, and is useful too, but it saves my team and me a few minutes every week. And I think it's an example of a highly customized app that can be done with Claude or any other social media AI assistant to create any of these social media apps. A quick comment about Claude. I like the artifacts feature. So as you can see here, that you have like the assets that get created and you can switch between versions. That's at the moment my favorite tool to use for that kind of stuff. But you can use Gemini and all the other assistants. They all can code for you. The only difference is maybe the user experience. But this kind of task, all the other chat assistants are also capable of doing that. If you want a detailed description on how to create this app or prefer to read it again, go to freshvonroot.com/blog. You will see my micro version of Canva Created with AI. And there's also like some screenshots, basically the written version of this video. I will post this very first prompt that you can customize to your own needs in the description of this YouTube video. Let me know if it worked for you. Leave a comment, and as some other YouTubers say, hit subscribe.